Good morning, everybody. I hope you are well. And I'd like to share some words of Torah with you. Today, I don't have a source sheet. It's more an idea. And I would like to share with you Torah in honor of Rabbi Sachs of blessed memory. His neshama should have an aliyah. It's strange to even say that. Allow me to share with you a powerful story that I read, that I appreciate, and perhaps can allow us to better understand something which takes place in our parasha, which I find fascinating, captivating, incredibly important, with a message for all of us. A couple of years ago, let's begin with a story. A couple of years ago, there was a winner of the Nobel Prize for Medicine, and his name was Dr. Robert Edwards. He was a British embryologist, and he helped to create an incredible breakthrough in the world of in vitro fertilization. His creativity helped alleviate the problem of infertility for so many. It's estimated that there are 4 million people alive in the world today because of Dr. Edwards' incredible breakthrough. He won the Nobel Prize for Medicine as a result of it. Many Jewish people were born through the efforts and discovery of Dr. Edwards. And this, despite the fact that Dr. Edwards didn't actually have such a soft spot and fondness for Jews. This goes all the way back to the 1940s, when Dr. Edwards served in the British Army in pre-state British mandated Palestine. At one point in his service, British authorities implemented the death penalty actually against fighters of the Jewish Irgun. These were members of the Israeli pre-IDF organization. And actually, in retaliation for the execution of these Jewish soldiers, the Irgun actually kidnapped soldiers from Edwards's unit and executed them in a retaliatory tit for tat. It's an incredible story, the 1930s British-Israeli relationship, and it's actually told in blood. As a result of those episodes, Dr. Edwards never had a soft spot for Jews or Israelis. And it's fascinating because there's no country in the world today that actually practices and implements in vitro fertilization per capita higher than the state of Israel. In fact, the government of Israel will encourage its population to grow, have children, and will actually pay for in vitro fertilization. It's the highest percentage per capita of couples in the world to actually practice in vitro fertilization, the modern state of Israel. Amazing. And this brings me back to a story of a couple that came to me, actually, and they said, Rabbi, we're having a baby, but I don't know if the baby is Jewish. So I said, a beautiful, wonderful couple in our community, I said, it's very straightforward. If you're Jewish, then the baby's Jewish. She said, it's not so simple. You see, my husband and I have been trying for many years to have a baby. We've been unsuccessful. And so what my husband and I, both Jewish, have done is that we donated an egg from my ovaries. He donated sperm from himself, and we put them together in a petri dish. We have made now a baby, and we have put that inside of a non-Jewish surrogate, and we're paying her so that she can have our baby. Now, at this point in the conversation, I stopped her and I said, look, I'm a simple London boy. They taught us a very different way of making babies. But if that's what you want to do, no problem. That was a joke. It ends up being actually a halachic question. She said, well, is the baby Jewish or not? Do we follow, on the one hand, do we follow the biological mother, the Jewish mother who provided an egg? Or, on the other hand, do we follow the gestational mother, the woman who actually carried the baby to term? What does Jewish law say? So what do you think? Do we go after the biological mother and biological father, the sperm cell and the embryo, both, and the ovum, both from Jewish people, or the gestational mother? So amazingly, if you said we go after the gestational mother, and if you said we go after the biological mother, you're both right. In classic Jewish law, we're not sure. Jewish law is not sure. This is an amazing modern reality of biological science, and we don't know. So what do we do? So we take the baby to the mikveh once the baby is born, and we immerse the baby in the mikveh on the doubt that maybe we go after the gestational mother and the baby needs a conversion. However, we also do not say a bracha on the doubt that we go according to the biological mother and that the baby is Jewish from the get-go and doesn't require an immersion. And therefore, it would be saying God's name in vain, a bracha lebatala, and we don't say a bracha. So we immerse in a mikvah, but we don't say a bracha. And this incredible reality is the basis of what we would do in such a circumstance. Why am I sharing all of this with you? I'm sharing all of this with you because of the miracle that is having a baby. The miracle that is having a baby. It is so not a simple thing. And we are reading an incredibly sad parasha. Sarah dies. Abraham will buy a burial place for her. A very complicated negotiation to buy the Ma'arat HaMachpelah in Hebron, the cave of Machpelah. And what we will find at the very end is, after this negotiation and after the purchasing and after all of these back and forths, the burial itself, we're then told the strangest verse. Listen to this verse, just bringing it up on my computer. The pasuk says, Avraham Zaken, Baba Yamim, Hashem Berach et Avraham Bakol. Avraham was old, advanced in years, and God had blessed Avraham with everything. That's a strange thing to say. God had blessed Abraham with everything. He didn't have everything. He actually had quite a little. He had no wife anymore. She had died. And he had barely a plot of land, and it was the most excruciating negotiation that he had to go through to get it. What does it mean? God blessed him with everything. So there are some commentators, and I want to point you out to Rashi, who says, if you look at the word kol, he blessed him with everything. Kol is chaf lamed, and the gematria of 20 plus 30 is 50. Bakol, 52. What is 52? Ben, a son. Hashem berach et Avraham bakol. Hashem blessed Avraham with everything. Hashem blessed Avraham with a son. Sometimes to have a son is to have everything. To have a child is to have everything. Since the dawn of time, infertility being the key leitmotif of the Torah, it's almost impossible to have children. Sarah is barren, Rivka is barren, Hannah is barren, Rachel is barren. The theme is unmistakable. Hashem berachet Avraham bakol. Hashem blesses Avraham with everything. He had a son. It's everything. And because of modern medical breakthroughs and technology, Nobel Prize winning breakthroughs, people can now, through in vitro fertilization, have a child. But I want to suggest something even deeper. Hashem barach et Avraham bakol. Hashem blessed Avraham with everything in the midst of his grief. The loss of his life's partner, the struggle to even buy a burial place, Yitzhak not being married, the future looking uncertain, Avraham was able to remember a larger purpose to his life and move forwards, being able to grieve and then set that grief to the side and still journey on. Having blessings is one thing. Recognizing that you are blessed is altogether something very different. So often, those of us that have been blessed fail to see the blessings. And even if we see the blessings, we fail to appreciate the blessings. Having blessings and recognizing that you are blessed are worlds apart. Hashem berach et Avraham bakol. Hashem blessed Avraham with everything. Avraham was able to recognize that he had everything. Notwithstanding his loss, notwithstanding his misery, his grief, his mourning. Avraham saw his life as part of a larger purpose and having focus of mind to move forwards as opposed to dwelling on what he lost. And so immediately after burying his wife, he sets out to build the future. Let us find a wife for Yitzhak. Let us take our destiny into our own hands by being able to indeed fulfill God's blessings through our agency. Let us actually create the future ourselves. And this is what it means to be an Avraham. This is why we are encouraged to practice gratitude, not just being grateful. This is why psychologists say you should model gratitude. And I'm following Hillel Fuld on Facebook right now. He's listing 10 things that he's grateful for each and every day. To actually force yourself to write down a list. You know, you might not have to publicly post it, but to write down a list. What are the 10 things you're grateful for? And to be able to see how you are blessed, to feel blessed, to see that beauty. That's to be blessed with everything. There's a beautiful quote. Anne Frank writes in her diary, I don't think of all of the misery, but of the beauty that still remains. From Avraham to Dr. Robert Edwards winning the Nobel Prize in medicine for his work on in vitro fertilization, to the blessings of a child, all the way to Anne Frank of seeing the blessings, appreciating the blessings, and recognizing the blessings. That's what it means to live in a world. Hashem berach et Avraham bakol. God blessed Avraham with everything. Are we able to recognize our blessings too? Shabbat Shalom.